78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty ldbc. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, go ahead and share this joint. All right, y'all. Sorry for the misunderstanding yesterday morning. You know what I mean? I had a little disruption with YouTube. We got it all squared away, settled up, So it's on and popping like always. Make sure y'all sign up to the Patreon. The Patreon, I will be discussing sports along with my usual topics on Patreon, but I have opened up a sports tier in which I will be on there talking about things in sports that I can't talk about on YouTube. A little rougher language and topics that might be a little taboo for YouTube. So make sure y'all check that out, and I will start uploading this week on that tier. Now, also, I have a backup channel. The link to that backup channel, ldbc General, the link to that will be in the description underneath this video. Check it out, y'all. Or it'll be in my community tab as well. So, unfortunately, we have some sad news in the sport of boxing. I've done a video about this on my other channel, my backup channel. But Keith one-time Thurman is forced to pull out of his bout against TSZYU. This would have been Keith Thurman's first fight in a few years. I don't think Keith has fought since 2019. Okay, now I think Keith has probably only fought 3 or 4 times in the last 10 years. And Keith was on fire at one point. He was hot. He was, the big bad wolf. You know what I mean? I got an I ain't afraid to let it go. One time, Keith was one of the best young rising talents in boxing, and I was a huge fan of Keith Thurman. But like I said in my other video, Keith Thurman basically, he let himself down. He stopped believing in himself. I don't know what happened, but, he stopped believing in himself, and he turned down a lot of massive fights for himself. He started getting big-headed, started talking about himself in a third person and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He went out and got injured. He got himself injured here against for TSZYU. Preparing for TSZYU, he got himself injured. Reportedly, it's some arm injury, and it's going to take him a while to heal up. And this is not Keith Thurman's first time. He's been injured so many times: car accidents, training, injuries, working out. It's constant injuries with Keith Thurman. And when this keeps happening back to back like this, his body's just breaking down. I don't know if it's a nutritional thing. I don't know if it's a genetic thing. I don't know what it is. But Keith Thurman's body is just saying, no, enough is enough. Now, I'm sure he probably won't retire yet. He probably going to want to get at least one more payday before he retires. Now, I understand that. But I just feel bad for him because, he made a lot of boneheaded decisions here. If we go back, I'm going to repeat myself like I said in my other video. Keith Thurman, when he was unified champion, well, listen, first of all, he didn't fight Earl Spence. A lot of people want to see him fight Earl Spence, and I understand why he didn't fight Earl Spence in the beginning, because he was chasing the bigger fish. He was chasing Sean Porter. He was chasing Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, those names that he wanted. Those were the hot guys in the welterweight division at the time, and Earl Spence was the up-and-coming guy, right? And but then once Keith had fought the guys he wanted to fight besides Floyd, he still was acting like he didn't want no smoke with Earl Spence Jr., which just made everything look bad, all right? Keith had an opportunity when he was unified champion to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, who was moving up, who was undisputed at 140, moving up to 147. Keith Thurman sat in a room full of media members and dogged Terrence Crawford, talking about Terrence Crawford don't offer him nothing and Crawford can't do nothing for him. I was upset behind it because I'm like, Keith, what are you talking about? Dude, this is a little smaller guy coming up. Why don't you fight him? So he embarrassed himself. He embarrassed Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford at that point started pursuing Earl Spence Jr. When we, myself and Brother Black Fight Fan was on Trill Boxing Talk, we pushed for that fight between, we were telling Crawford, you need to go for Earl Spence. And that's how Crawford and Spence whole saga began anyway. But after that, you had, who else? You had Jerron Boots Ennis. Boots wanted to fight Keith Thurman. All right? Whole another generation of fighter. Keith don't want no smoke with him. Right? Then you had a situation. You had who was it? Devin the Dream Haney. Young Devin wanted to fight Keith Thurman. He wanted to move up to 147 to fight Keith. As his first fight at 147, they're gonna fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman turns that fight down. It's like, bro, how can you turn down two undisputed champions, and they both smaller than you, right? It got to Keith had gotten to the point where it was so bad for him that even girls was calling him out. Clarissa Shields is calling the man out for a fight. Do you know how bad it is when a female is calling you out to fight and you a grown man, bro? You a former unified champion. That's when the world think you sweet. And like, like I say, man, Keith done a lot of stuff that irritate me, but I do feel bad for him because it's like, when stuff just keep going wrong for you and you trying to get in your rhythm, it's like some just bad luck and bad stuff, juju, back to back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? It's just, it's enough to make you go nuts. You know what I'm saying? So, now PBC is talking about putting in what's the boy name? Big tall lanky dude, Fundora. They talking about putting in Fundora for TSZYU. And just whatever, man. And I don't know why. I really wish Earl Spence was in shape and conditioned to fight. That would have been a good fight, Earl Spence versus TSZYU, or even Terrence Crawford versus TSZYU. Any one of those fights would have been good, but Fundora, whatever. I expect TSZYU to beat Fundora. If TSZYU is the goods, I expect him to beat Sebastian Fundora. If TSZYU can't beat Sebastian Fundora, then that's going to be interesting. Or maybe it end up being a fight of year candidate. Maybe it end up being a war between these two guys. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going to happen exactly. But at the end of the day, I think the little bit of pay-per-view sales that this fight was going to do is probably nonchalant. It's done now. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to do a lot of pay-per-views anyway, but just for those few people who was going to order it to support Keith Thurman, now he's out of here. What's going to happen now? You know what I'm saying? Sebastian Fundora is no pay-per-view attraction. Neither is TSZYU. And so Rolly Romero and Isak Cruz on the undercard is not going to do nothing. That's not going to draw any attention or have anybody want to order this pay-per-view. But sadly, they have to put it on pay-per-view due to the fact that Amazon Prime is not giving out any. It's not giving them a network deal like a budget. You know what I mean? They have to basically make their money through other means, through pay-per-views. So, it is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this, man. Should Keith Thurman retire at this point? Should he go out with a bang, fight one more guy? What y'all think, man? 78 Sports TV. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash that like button on the way out. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm up out of here. Deuces.